In the old days of analog, TV and VHS video editing is carried out using huge workstations in a process called linear video editing. Linear video editing is a post-production process of selecting, arranging and modifying images and sound in a predetermined, ordered sequence from tape. Needless to say, it is highly skilled and time-consuming. Until the advent of computer-based random access, non-linear video editing systems in the early 90s, linear video editing was simply called video editing. The digital revolution has made the video editing workflow immeasurably quicker as editors move from time-consuming tape-to-tape linear video editing systems to powerful computer hardware and video editing software such as Adobe Premiere. Typically, video and audio sources are first captured or transferred to computer storage. Once imported, the source material can be edited on a computer using a wide range of video editing software. From there, editors and directors are free to work with all the options to create the final cut. Video editing is essentially the process of editing segments of motion video production footage by cutting, trimming, and overlaying them and adding special effects and sound recordings. Digital editing software has become a great source of reliance for all the special effects and editing needs in the post-production stage. Essentially, most video editing programs work in a similar fashion. Once footage has been input into the computer and converted into a digital format, it can be then edited via the program. Effects and titles can be added easily, and many programs will even create complete DVDs. The final result is, ideally, a video presentation as polished as anything appearing on TV or a disc released by Hollywood. Of course, how it looks is dependent on factors beyond editing, such as videography and lighting. There are many ways for an editing program to accomplish these tasks, and they do so with varying degrees of precision and complexity. So, when choosing such a program, it helps to first take stock of your current skill level and needs. The technologies behind digital video are profound and complicated. In order to begin the process of video editing, you need to know the basic concepts of digital video. The most important ones are video resolution, aspect ratio, and encoding. This is the measure of the number of horizontal and vertical pixels of a video image. It ranges from 352 into 288 for VCD to 1920 into 1080 for high definition TV. This is the ratio between the horizontal and the vertical resolution of an image. Typically, you will come across just 4:3 and 16:9. When starting a video editing project, the first things you will decide are the image resolution and aspect ratio. This will most likely be determined for you by the source material. The term most often used to describe what kind of digital video you are using is format. It is a confusing term because it can mean either its encoding or its file format. Encoding refers to how analog video images are digitized using a codec, whereas format usually refers to how digitized images are organized in a file. For example, a QuickTime movie .mov file may contain a H.264 or MPG-2 encoded video. So the term format really just means a container of encoded video, which may or may not be itself. There are also three general container formats that are used to wrap a variety of encoded video and audio. They are AVI, Audio Video Interleave, developed by Microsoft; MOV, QuickTime Movie, developed by Apple Inc.; MKV, Matroska Multimedia Container, is an open standard container format that is supported by most operating systems and audiovisual equipment, even HD TV. So what does this all mean? Knowing the resolution, aspect ratio and codec used for your source material allows you to plan ahead when creating a video editing project. For example, when creating a DVD project, you should consider collecting source materials that closely match the 720 into 576 resolution and 4:3 aspect ratio of DVD. This knowledge will affect how much work you have to do during editing and how much work the video editor has to do when the final cut is generated, or exported is the term used. Not one digital editing software program is created equal. They are like snowflakes or pictures, each unique and able to serve different purposes for different people. This is no means that all professional filmmakers need pro image editing software. First, you need to examine what your specific needs are from editing software. If you do work that requires tons of video footage, then your biggest needs are probably workflow and batch processing. If you work in portraits or fine art photography, you likely want full editing professional tools. Or maybe you just want something quick, easy, and cheap. Underneath the program's graphical interface, there are other considerations. For example, how well does the program support media other than video? Many video productions won't rely solely on video footage, but will also include a variety of still photos as a slideshow. If this will be an important feature for you, make sure your prospective editing program does a thorough job of supporting that. Then there are video effects. There are a couple of issues here. The first is considered which effects you think you will need for your productions and determining if it's included in the editing software. The second consideration is if you have any existing effects that you will want to use with new editing software, does the program allow for importation of effects in the same format or formats as yours? Of course, you should consider that cuts should account for the vast majority of the transitions in your production, and that cycling through your software's transition palette tends to scream amateur. The same goes for audio effects. What sort do your productions need? Basic fade-ins or fade-outs? Reverb for narration? Or something more sophisticated? If you have an existing home recording program, you may be able to import some of its effects if they are compatible with the editing program. If the editing program accepts only one format, check to see if it's one that's compatible with your recording program. When you select a tool, the pointer changes shape according to the selection. For example, when you select the razor tool and position the pointer over a clip in a timeline panel, the icon changes to a razor. However, the selection tool icon can change to reflect the task currently being performed. Sometimes, pressing a modifier key such as Shift as you use a tool changes its function and its icon changes accordingly. Select tools from the Tools panel or use a keyboard shortcut. You can read the Tools panel and orient it vertically or horizontally. The Selection tool is the default tool. It's used for everything other than specialized functions. If the program isn't responding as you expect, make sure that the Selection tool is selected. A Selection tool. B. Ripple Edit tool. C. Rate Stretch tool. D. Slip tool. E. Pen tool. F. Hand tool. G. Track Select tool. H. Rolling Edit tool. I. Razor tool. J. Slide tool. K. Zoom tool. Select any tool to activate it for use in a timeline panel by clicking it or pressing its keyboard shortcut. Let the cursor hover over a tool to see its name and keyboard shortcut. Selection tool. The standard tool for selecting clips, menu items and other objects in the user interface. It's generally a good practice to select the selection tool when you are done using any of the other more specialized tools. Track Selection tool. Select this tool to select all the clips to the rate of the cursor in a sequence. To select a clip and all clips to the right in its own track, click the clip. To select a clip in all clips to its right in all tracks, shift-click the clip. Pressing Shift changes the track selection tool into the multi-track selection tool. Ripple Edit tool. Select this tool to trim the in or out point of a clip in a timeline. The Ripple Edit tool closes gaps caused by the edit and preserves all edits to left or right of the trimmed clip. Rolling Edit tool. Select this tool to roll the edit point between two clips in a timeline. The Rolling Edit tool trims the in point of one and the out point of the other while leaving the combined duration of the two clips unchanged. Rate Stretch tool. Select this tool to shorten a clip in a timeline by speeding up its playback or to lengthen it by slowing it down. The Rate Stretch tool changes speed and duration but leaves the in and out points of the clip unchanged. Razor tool. Select this tool to make one or more incisions in clips in a timeline. Click a point in a clip to split it at the precise location. To split clip in all tracks at that location, shift-click the spot in any of the clips. Slip tool. Select this tool to simultaneously change the in and out points of a clip in a timeline, while keeping the time span between them constant. For example, if you have trimmed a 10-second clip to 5 seconds in a timeline, you can use the slip tool to determine which 5 seconds of the clip appear in the timeline. Slide tool. Select this tool to move a clip to the left or right in a timeline while simultaneously trimming the two clips that surround it. The combined duration of 3 clips and the location of the group in the timeline remain unchanged. Pen tool. Select this tool to set or select keyframes or to adjust connector lines in a timeline. Drag a connector line vertically to adjust it. Control-click Windows or Command-click Mac OS on a connector line to set a keyframe. Shift-click non-contiguous keyframes to select them. Drag a mark over contiguous keyframes to select them. Hand tool. Select this tool to move the viewing area of a timeline to the right or left. Drag left or right anywhere in the viewing area. Zoom tool. Select this tool to zoom in or zoom out in a timeline viewing area. Click in the viewing area to zoom in by one increment. Alt-click Windows or Option-click Mac OS to zoom out by one increment. With several video editing equipment available to filmmakers, it can be a little daunting for beginners. Below is a video production equipment list for the beginner filmmaker. The next very important thing is the equipment. The digital editing works when the footage is shot in a good video camera, and it is important for all students to learn how to use the video camera and how to choose one for a good production. Video camera. A video camera is the centerpiece of your filmmaking gear package. What camera you choose depends on your budget. The types of shooting you're doing, static, stealth, run and gun, etc., and where you plan to showcase your film, web only, theater, broadcast, etc. You can shoot a documentary on anything from your iPhone to a DSLR to a top-of-line digital cinema camera such as the Red Epic. Whatever camera you choose, make sure you capture excellent audio. Tripod. A necessary piece of equipment to keep your footage looking steady and professional. Get a tripod with a fluid head for smoother looking pans. Camera light. Sometimes a nice pop of light from the camera can help fill in ugly shadows. A camera light is a nice accessory to have, especially in a documentary or news style shoot where you might not have time for a full 3-point lighting setup. 3-point lighting kit. You only really need a lighting kit if you are planning to do a lot of shooting inside. Creating a well-lit scene usually involves a 3-way lighting setup. Good lighting doesn't have to be expensive. Shotgun microphone. Great audio often separates the pros from the amateurs. Having a shotgun microphone prepares you for almost every situation. It's perfect for setting on top of your camera or a boom pole. Boom pole. A boom microphone setup comes in handy to capture audio from a group interview, crowd scenes, or any situation where you need to gather professional audio quickly. In addition to the boom pole, you'll need a shock mount and a shotgun microphone. Audio XLR cables. If you plan to use a professional audio setup with your camcorder, you'll need XLR cables to go from your camera to the microphone. Wireless microphone. Sure, you can use a wired microphone, which is a bit less expensive, but I wouldn't go on a documentary shoot without my wireless microphone. Unless you have an audio person who can hold a boom microphone, this is the next best thing, providing tons of flexibility for walk and talk interviews with your subjects. Portable digital audio recorder. If you decide to shoot your documentary with a DSLR, it's highly recommended that you either get a portable audio recorder or a preamp audio to attach to your camera. Why? The DSLR cameras only come equipped with a mini jack audio input, which doesn't capture professional or broadcast quality sound. Because of that, you'll need some way to capture professional audio. The bonus with the preamp is that the audio is recorded directly to the camera, whereas with the portable recorder, you'll have to sync the audio and video later during edit. Headphones. Getting great audio means monitoring the sound at all times while shooting. Find a good quality, comfortable set of headphones to make sure you avoid any nasty audio surprises when you get back from the shoot. Light reflector. This is a must-have item for your documentary filmmaking kit. A light reflector can turn an ugly amateur-looking shot into a golden and gorgeously lit scene. Lenses, wide-angle, clear protective lens, polarizer, zoom lens, macros, etc. Have you ever seen those cool fisheye scenes? That's from using a special wide-angle lens. If you're shooting in super sunny situations, an ND filter or circular polarizer can dramatically improve the image. Or what would super close-ups of a bug or flower? That's when you need a macro lens. 3.4 Extra batteries. You never want to get caught without enough batteries out on a shoot. Unless you're heading out into the Amazon, 3 to 4 extra batteries should be enough for most shooting situations. Videotapes, flash memory cards or DVDs. You'll need somewhere to record all that footage you'll be shooting. External hard drive. A portable hard drive comes in handy if you plan to do a lot of shooting in the field and need to offload your footage from your camera's memory card. DSLR shoulder mount rig. If you're shooting with a DSLR, putting your camera on a shoulder mount can add a nice professional touch. It is especially helpful if you don't want to use a tripod, and a rig creates smoother looking footage in a run and gun shooting situation. How filmmakers compose their shots determine how well a movie communicates its images to the viewer. In this lesson, students learn how to create establishing shots to let viewers know where the story is taking place and how to convey action sequences and emotional or retail scenes. Also, students compare images that follow and break the rule of thirds and see why the director made these decisions. The lesson covers the concept of eye lines, headroom, horizon lines, and frame balancing. Preparation: you will first demonstrate the rule of thirds to the class using a slide presentation created with Apple's presentation software Keynote. To prepare this presentation, follow these steps. Number 1. Download a movie trailer that has a variety of types of shots using QuickTime Pro. Number 2. Open a new Keynote presentation and insert the movie trailer on a blank slide. Number 3. Create a table by clicking Table on the Keynote toolbar. The default table is a 9-box grid, the same as the rule of the thirds. Number 4. Place the grid over the trailer so it fits the entire QuickTime movie. If you want, you can alter the grid's opacity and line thickness, but the default grid works well. Panasonic AG HVX 200, JVC GY HD11DU, Canon XL H1, Sony HVR Z1U. Video deck high-end cameras are not designed to be used as playback machines. We recommend getting a Sony DSR 11, a dedicated and durable playback machine that can fit on a desktop. Depending on your program, you may want to buy one for every capturing station. Note, not all computers will be used to capture video. Some will only be used to edit. Also, it's more expensive to maintain a camera if it's used as a player and recorder as well. Try and use it for one function videotaping. The DSR 11 can do the player portion. Every day, digital media becomes more important as a means for receiving, producing, sharing, and broadcasting information. Tools and resources that were once exclusive property of a few are now available to many more people. Tomorrow's publishers, marketing people, and community leaders will need to know how to use digital media to persuade others and tell new and effective stories. Knowledge of the rules and grammar of movie production, broadcasting, and media presentation is a new powerful literacy. Today's educators and students will find it particularly valuable to be skilled in the use of digital media tools such as Final Cut Studio. Digital editing is the future. In this digital world, all that we crave is the digicams and digitized videos and photos. Editing software plays a key role in the addition of all effects, visual and audible, that makes the end product appealing to the audience. Selecting the right tools for editing is the primary job of the editor. The equipment used in film is in direct correlation with the kind of work that goes into the post-production process. A good camera and great lighting make for a fantastic looking film, and proper microphones can enhance the sound quality by a vast degree. Finally, the digital editing works when the footage is shot in a good video camera, and it is important for all students to learn how to use the video camera and how to choose one for a good production. Thank you.